So focus your attention, everyone, here on this zone 1 that Bob speaks of, and realize that the way the antennas are set up, you can establish the direction in which an item is flowing and going either into, say, one room or out of a room and going into another area. So we're going to demonstrate that as one of the use cases here to identify where an item is moved and then be able to hone in on and find that particular asset. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to talk everyone here who's tuned in to the 3 different use cases that we're going to demonstrate. Bob, Darryl, they're going to go get this demonstration ready to roll, and so I'm going to ask them to tap out here as I talk through the different use cases. So use case number 1 is going to be that fixed reading using automated capture of RFID tags on assets through choke points that I just mentioned a moment ago. And you'll see that as Darryl is going to be standing in a doorway, and he'll talk about the kind of technology that's set up that enables this. Use case number 2 is going to be the use of a mobile reader to find an item within a location. So after you've identified it to a zone, now you can find it very rapidly using some mobile technology. And lastly is to perform a rapid inventory of many items for a cycle count, and that kind of accountability that you need to do periodically in your organization to know that you have the assets that your records say that you have. So first of all, let's see if we have years on this. Hey Bob, you have us here?
Yeah, we're here. We're set up. Once you're ready to sling over our screen sharing capabilities. And
coming your way, Bob. Coming your way.
All right.
Should be in your hands now.
Got it. Can you see that screen there?
We got it. Everybody can see. We got eyes and ears on you now in terms of seeing UC Web set up with the asset list that's going to be coming through here. Looks like you're loading up an asset filter for the kind of assets we want to watch move from one location to another. Am I right there?
That's right, Pete.
Okay, and now we got eyes on Darryl too, so we can see the fact that he's going to step us through this technology and what we have set up.
Okay, so here we are in our stock room. We keep a lot of IT equipment and miscellaneous items that we use to run our business and do testing with it and whatnot in this room. And here we have Zone 1, which was depicted in the PowerPoint slide that we looked at a few moments ago. And what makes up this portal or choke point is we have a fixed RFID reader right here mounted on the wall. And that's connected to 2 far field or patch antennas that are right here above the door, one on the inside of the door, one on the outside of the door. That allows us to capture directionality, direction that an item moved from one location into another location. And what the tag read does is when the information comes back off the tag after it's stimulated, the reader will capture the tag reads and put them on the network, and then our middleware will take those tag reads, coalesce that tag data, and make it meaningful to the application UC Web that you see also displayed there. So depending on the various different use cases and the types of things you want to do, how fast you want tags to read, or there's a many number of different things that need to be considered. But the bottom line is the reader puts the tag reads on our network. The middleware captures those tag reads, does something with them to make them meaningful, to feed them into the application so you can make good business decisions. So next I wanted to show you just
quick question, Darryl, to put in perspective, as you have a tag on an asset, the laptop you're going to get into, through that portal at any given time, how many reads are happening in that moment in which you're walking through the portal?
How many reads? What do you mean? I don't follow the question.
Yeah, as far as when you're walking through, the readers don't just read one time the tag, right? It could read any number of times as you're walking through to show directionally that you've been identified at one antenna and then at the other, right?
Right, but again, that's something that can be controlled through configuration.
Okay.
How many times the tag is read, because if you're expecting, like if I'm loading a truck and it's an order with 20 items that are tagged, you know, the software can be set up to, once it's read the particular tag on an item, then, you know, I don't need to hear about that tag again. Right. So right. That's very configurable. But this tag here, you know, this is a Dell laptop. We have a passive UHF RFID tag here on the laptop, and we like to also, whenever possible, include some human readable. So we have the item ID and 1D barcode, so you can scan that item ID. And the nice thing about that is, you know, most IT managers are going to, even today, before they engage in RFID, they're going to have an asset tag on the asset. So this situation here allows your asset tag and RFID tag to double as one tag, and it's really very convenient. So what I'm going to do now, this asset is the one that you see on the screen on the item ID 000138, as you see on the tag right here. It should be in the stock room.
Yeah.
Is it in the stock?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Last inventoried yesterday.
Okay, so I'm going to just take it out through the portal, take it out into the A2B front office area, and then we'll display the screen again, and we'll move on to the next phase of the demonstration.
Good.
That's right. There it is. Stock room. Inventoried yesterday at 227.
Good. Okay.
So Darryl just left the stock room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now the idea is, once he leaves that stock room, the reader, or the readers on the side here, right along the bottom, the reader and the antenna, is capturing that tag and exciting that tag.
Mm-hmm.
So Darryl's back here.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're just going to refresh this screen here.
Okay.
Just refresh. Now we should see our location change from stock room, and our last known inventory was yesterday. And here we have 138, and we've got a recent inventory of about a minute or so ago. You know, about a minute ago, Darryl walked through that portal.
Yep.
So as Pete and Darryl were mentioning the reading involved, it captures it, queues it, and starts to update it.
Right.
So now you see it's in our front office zone, zone 3.
Right. Yep. It's a very subtle change in the database, but it's a change nonetheless of the fact that the item was identified and the location was updated and the date and time it was updated. And that involved nothing more than picking up the asset and walking through. That's powerful stuff.
Right, and the system will keep a complete audit trail, so you'll see all the activity and movements of your assets throughout your facility. So if you've set up a tool crib situation where, whether it's tools or any other type of asset that's being checked in and checked out, the system's automatically going to capture that activity, and you'll have a full activity that you can then, you know, analyze to determine if you're stocking the right level of equipment, or if I have a bunch of stuff in hand that never gets used over the course of the year. So it really can help drive good business decisions, help you save money in a lot of areas, help you save time, help with your accuracy, your visibility. Just a tremendous amount of benefit that will be gained.
Now, can you speak about this here attached to the reader and what that's capable of doing?
Yeah, this here is a GPIO box, general purpose input-output box. This is just attached to a stack light if we wanted to turn this on. A good use case is if you have overhead doors with 18 wheelers picking up inventory, you'll loading orders on the truck.
Yeah.
You know, the light can display as the pallet goes through, or once everything that's expected on the pallet is red. You can set it up with cameras or sirens or alarms or anything of that nature. You know, in a weapons armor, you may want to have a snapshot taken as I checked out a weapon to keep on file with, you know who actually took the weapon. You have video evidence as well. So you can do a lot of different things with the GPIO box, whatever suits your use case.
Good. Good.
Great. Now for the next leg of the demo, we just demonstrated the fixed reading and how Darryl walks through a portal and inventories and updates the last known location of an item as it crawls through different zones. Now we're going to demonstrate the ability to locate using our UC mobile software, using our Geiger functionality. And basically what we're doing now is we're taking the last known location of that laptop, which is the front office zone, was the stock room. And now we're going to go locate it, because that front office is a big area. And now at least we know it's in that area. It's not any other zone. So we're going to go ahead, and Darryl's going to follow me out here. As he's following me, this is a MC9190Z device, just like an MC9090 or 9190, but with RFID reading capability. Still has 1D and 2D barcoding capabilities. 1D for general asset tracking, 2D for all the UID compliance customers out there in the Department of Defense. This device is a rugged device, IP64 rated. IP64 states that it's ingress protection for dust and liquids. So in those rugged environments, out in the field, overseas, this is the device that we're going to be using. You can drop it, it won't shatter. It's got that hard shell on there. So now that we've entered kind of the corridor here leading into our front office zone 3, I'm going to pull the trigger on this device, and I'm going to start to pick up and try to find that asset, which is the laptop that Darryl had, 138. I'm just going to walk down this corridor here. As I
Get to the Geiger counting, chiming away.
I'm calling says hi, everybody. You can start to hear the beeping, which means I'm starting to actually locate that asset.
Yep.
If I actually, that screaming there indicates that I'm pretty close to it. And because I know it's a laptop, I don't see any laptops present here. But I'll continue walking down my corridor. Seems like it's going to be in the second cube here. A laptop there, guy right here.
Okay. So you've located.
That the Geiger is also increasing as well now that I'm kind of right on top of the tag, indicating that I'm pretty close to that device. It's not right on top.
Great.
So that was demonstrating locating an asset based on its last known location.
Fantastic.
Again, 9190Z.
Yep. It's that straightforward. Pull a trigger.
One of the devices we will bring to you during our site visit that Pete and Darryl will cover at the end of this webinar. For the next portion of our demo now, we've demoed fixed reading with locating using mobile technology. I'm going to introduce kind of the new kid on the block, the new device, an RFID A500 Zebra device here. And what's really cool about this device, see it there, is again it's got 1D and 2D barcoding capabilities with RFID. It's got Bluetooth capability. So I'm turning on my device here. Actually, first I'll attach my smartphone. That's what really makes it cool. This is great because of companies who have employees who have one phone for personal use and business use. They can reuse the devices, drive the cost of the solution down. Most companies also have company-issued devices, which you can have put to casing like this here. This casing cost me about $14. Anyway, this is Samsung S7 that I'm going to attach to the device. Something real cool, real slick. And in a moment, I'm going to demo, once Pete gives me permission, to show you my screen, I'm going to demo a record to floor inventory. And what that means is I've created an inventory of a location, and I'm going to go look for the items that actually belong in that location.
And Bob,
Now,
Yep. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I can also create inventories not just on that zone, but I can also skin it down and say, well, not only do I want this zone, but I only want tablets, I only want weapons, I only want Humvees and not tanks. You know, I can really classify exactly what I'm looking for and skin down my location, my inventory. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to inventory this area right here.
So you're doing what we refer to as a record to floor, meaning that for anybody who's looking at the streaming cameras in the streaming screens right now, you'll see that there are 3 columns in which there's a missing assets column, an excess assets, and a correct assets. When an inventory is set up using UC Web, that cycle count of that location, everything drops into missing until we positively identify, and we'll either see them go into the green category, meaning yes, it was there and we expected it, or we may come across excess assets in that location that we may want to know are there now, and those will appear for us as well. And anything left over that's missing will allow us to really isolate down to a small subset, and if we need to go hunt around and find them, then we have that capability of doing so. So that's the way UC Web handles a cycle count like this. And Bob, at this point, if you're ready, I'm actually going to hand you over the screen to the phone that you have doing the data capture.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay, over to you. You should be seeing it appear here momentarily. We can see it.
So I just want to mention the ergonomics of this device. When you walk around, I mean, this thing was like created to just fit right in your hand. This device also as well. I've worked with these devices for 5 years here at ADB Tracking and market data capture projects all around the world. They have a real true purpose, especially when using offline data capture. However, I mean, they both feel good, but this device is just a little slick. So right now we're looking at our mobile optimized version of UC Web. This isn't an application that I've installed from Google Play or the Apple Store. This is actually UC Web, because UC Web is a software-based, a SaaS offered software in the cloud. I'm accessing it and tapping into it right here from my mobile phone. However, we've optimized it to recognize smartphones and tablets to give you a different experience based on your screen type. So we're going to be demoing the inventory feature in this piece of software here. So I'm going to choose my inventory. You know, again, this interface, we've revealed some of the most critical aspects of UC Web on this device. So again, here's the inventory. I'm going to choose my inventory there. And now I'm brought to my scan screen. So now I'm ready to actually do my inventory. As it mentions here, it says you can scan an asset, a UID, or an RFID tag associated to an asset. So again, you can inventory 1D barcoded items, 2D or 2D UID, and now RFID for all our UC Web users out there who are just used to using the barcoding capability and going up to one asset one at a time, which can really, again, it's so time consuming. There's safety involved, climbing ladders, and you know, this is the solution. I'm going to stand right here. I'm going to pull the trigger on this device, and I'm actually going to capture some of what I'm looking for and also excess inventory for demonstration purposes. Show you what that's like as well. So as I pull the trigger here, as you can see, I'm not touching an asset. I'm not putting the barcode, I mean the RFID reader up against an asset, and I'm able to capture about half a dozen right now. So now if I just wave it around, keep going, you're seeing all those greens, which are correct, like the Apple iPad, the laptops here, the 9190s. I'm also capturing some excess inventory indicated in yellow surrounding areas. You can reduce the amount of transmit power coming from this device to really stick to a really small zone, or you can expand it to capture a large zone, which is what I'm doing right now. So again, I mean, the power of RFID, kind of in your pocket, literally, smartphone, it's real powerful. I just inventoried all those items in a fraction of the time. I'm ready to go back to my desk and do other things for my company to really push my company ahead. Not that inventory is not important, but My
And hey,
pushes ahead, so.
Darryl, I'm going to come back over to you now, and you can maybe show us that tablet screen that you had and how that shows to reconcile against those three columns that we had started off with. There they are. So we can see that there are as many as 4 assets that were identified that should have been there because that was a location in which they were assigned. The Dell laptop, a couple MC190s, and an iPad. We found 3 assets that somehow arrived at that location that we didn't expect there or that the records didn't show were supposed to be there. And then we also have 4 items, a Samsung tablet, an RCA tablet, a laptop, and an example asset that we now need to go hunt down. So now we have a good picture of that reconciliation and we can address it and resolve it. Right, guys?
That's right. So again, we can go into locating an asset somewhere throughout the facility. You know, as you mentioned, assets grow legs, so that also might be the reason why it's not here. So that's it.
Great. So I'm going to actually take back the presentation. Give me just a moment here while I do that. Okay, I'm going to become the presenter. You guys are going to come back and help me wrap this up and finish it off. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.